This happened a few days ago, and I'm still reeling from the whirlwind of emotions. I'm sharing this story not for sympathy but to hear what others think about it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. You tell me. I, 28M, have been with my fiancée, Emma, 27F, for 4 years. We met in college, where I was studying to become a chef and she was majoring in finance. From the beginning, Emma always teased me about my career choice, saying things like, "You'll never get rich flipping burgers," but I thought it was playful banter. I love cooking, and I've worked hard to carve out a respectable position in my field. I'm currently the sous chef at a highly rated restaurant in our city, and I've been saving to open my own place. Emma, on the other hand, works at a prestigious investment firm. She's incredibly successful, and I've always admired her drive. However, as our relationship progressed, her banter about my career became sharper, especially when we were around her friends or family. Over time, these comments started to sting. She'd make offhand remarks about how she'd have to be the breadwinner or how blue-collar work just didn't compare to the corporate world. I brushed it off for a while, telling myself she was just proud of her success and didn't mean any harm. But deep down, I felt a growing resentment. I've always believed that mutual respect is the foundation of a strong relationship, and her jokes felt like tiny cracks forming in that foundation. Last Friday, Emma's company hosted an annual holiday party. She'd been talking about it for weeks, excited to introduce me to her co-workers. I was happy to support her, so I took the night off, dressed in my best suit, and accompanied her to the event. I even prepared a small gift for her boss, a beautifully crafted box of macarons I had made myself. Things started off well. Her colleagues seemed nice enough, and a few even complimented me on my work when Emma introduced me as a chef. One senior manager, a food enthusiast, talked to me for a while about different cooking techniques, and I felt like I was holding my own. But then, as the night went on and Emma had a few drinks, her jokes became cruel. At first it was subtle. She'd make comments like, "Oh, he's such a perfectionist in the kitchen. He'll spend hours making something just right." It seemed harmless, but the tone felt off. Then she escalated. We were standing in a group with her boss, a couple of senior executives, and their spouses. One of them asked me about my job, and I proudly explained my role and how I'm saving up to open my own restaurant. Emma laughed loudly and said, "Yeah, he's the guy who'll make your fancy steaks one day. Better tip him well or he'll spit in your food." The group chuckled awkwardly, but I could feel my face heat up. I tried to brush it off and redirect the conversation, but she wasn't done. She added, "Honestly, it's cute. He's like this little culinary artist, thinking he'll be the next Gordon Ramsay. But hey, dreams are free, right?" I stared at her, stunned. Her boss looked at me sympathetically and said, "It's a tough industry, but chefs are artists in their own right." I thanked him, but Emma rolled her eyes and muttered, "If you say so." That was it. I couldn't take any more. I calmly turned to Emma and said, "If you can't respect my career or me as a person, then we have no future together." She blinked, confused, and laughed nervously. "What are you talking about?" I raised my voice just enough for the group to hear clearly. "I'm talking about the fact that you've been belittling me all night. You've made jokes at my expense for years and I'm done. This engagement is over." The group went silent. Emma's face turned red as she stammered, "You're overreacting. It was just a joke." "No," I said firmly. "A joke is something we both laugh at. This was disrespectful. I deserve better." I handed her the engagement ring right there and walked out. I could hear her calling after me, but I didn't look back. Since then, Emma has been blowing up my phone with calls and texts, alternating between apologizing and accusing me of humiliating her. Her friends have also chimed in, saying I was too harsh and should have handled it privately. My own friends and family are split. Some think I did the right thing while others say I should have waited. Honestly, I'm heartbroken. I loved her, but I can't marry someone who doesn't respect me or my dreams. I've been replaying the night in my head, wondering if I could have handled it better. But deep down, I feel like I made the right call. In the days since, I've thought about all the moments leading up to this. The time she'd laugh when I told her about a new recipe I was excited about, the way she'd brush off my passion as a hobby rather than a legitimate career. I realized that I'd been excusing her behavior for far too long. There was the time we went out with her friends and one of them asked what I did for a living. Before I could answer, Emma jumped in and said, "He's a chef, but not the fancy kind. More like the working in a kitchen sweating all day kind." Everyone laughed and I smiled along, but it hurt. Or the time I made dinner for her family, a beautiful 3-course meal I spent hours preparing, and she joked that I was practicing for when I get hired to cater real events. I've always been proud of my work, but she made me feel small, and yet I stayed. I thought that love meant putting up with flaws, that maybe I was being too sensitive. But now, looking back, I see that love also means respect. Without it, there's no foundation. So Reddit, what do you think? Was I too harsh or did I do the right thing? Have any of you ever faced a situation where you had to stand up for yourself like this? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching.